Good morning and welcome. It's Leanne Peters here. I'm from templeofbalance.com.au, Temple of Balance on Facebook and Temple of Balance on YouTube. And I am here to pull some cards for this week ahead. That's this week starting Monday the 22nd of February through till Sunday the 28th of February 2021. So I trust this video, this message, this connection here, I trust this finds you well. I trust you're flowing well at this time. I want to send out an extra special welcome to my Temple of Balance patrons, my Pillar of Light family, and all of those of you who support my work through my website. Thank you so much for your support. So I'm coming to you live now from Tasmania, Australia. It is Monday the 22nd of February here at exactly 9:35 a.m. So if you're new to watching, welcome. Let us know if you're new so we can welcome you. What I'm going to be doing is using my combined Speed of Light Oracle cards with my Animal Kingdom Oracle cards. I've created the cards to be the same size so they fit together beautifully and they work together fantastically. So I've got 110 cards here to pick from, which is loads of fun. The more cards, the I guess the extra special the message is that comes up. That's what I feel. So they have a bit more of an impact. If we had 30 cards or 20 cards, the chances of those cards coming up are fairly high. When you've got 110 cards, the odds are not so good. So it means they have an extra special impact to me anyway. Peggy's new. Welcome, Peggy. And Roxy, welcome to you. Welcome, Dulcie and Joanna. And Tina's here too. So welcome, everybody. I'm not doing personal readings for individuals today. This is general guidance for everyone. So I trust 100% that you've been led here for a reason. Welcome, Nadia. That you've been led here for a reason and that something shared will support you at this time. So just always take on board what feels right, what resonates, and what fits into your life easily. You don't need to force it. How does that fit? If it makes sense to you and if it seems like I'm speaking directly to you when I start getting into the cards, then you can trust that. So trust what feels right. Let the rest go. And just think of this as a guide. It's just a guide only. So it's up to you what you take on board. Welcome, Maria. Welcome all of our new viewers today. And also a big welcome to my regular viewers too. I come to you live every Monday with the weekly guidance. So I think that's all I really need to say. So I'm going to start shuffling. I've got a table here next to me. And I'm going to be laying out the cards intuitively. So there's no set amount, just really whatever I need to pull out and whatever will fit on my small table here. And I'll share as I go. So a recap while I'm shuffling on last week. Our theme, we had a fairly interesting last week. Some surprises coming in, some surprises maybe not so good, and some surprises that were fantastic. Welcome, Annie. So that was sort of happening last week, which a lot of us felt that, especially around Tuesday and Wednesday. And our theme for last week, we had the lizard and the panther. And I'm not pulling cards for individuals. This is general guidance for everyone, but welcome for those of you who are new, who don't realise that. So we had the lizard. The lizard reminded us as a theme last week to look beyond appearances and what's being presented at face value, and to drop deeper and look deeper, ask further questions, get further understanding, hopefully, or information about what is being presented to us as a theme. And that came with the panther. Remember the Black Panther last week talked to us about acceptance and finding acceptance. So it made me feel like last week was potentially quite a healing week where we were being encouraged and supported to find acceptance about things and matters that we can't change, that we really are ready to move on from. So I don't know how that fit in with your week last week, but that was just a little recap. So I'm getting ready now to pull the cards for this week. So I'm holding the intention to find the best cards for this week ahead. That's this week starting the 22nd of February through to the 28th of February 2021. So what do the majority of us need? I'm holding these intentions as I shuffle, and now I always split my deck into two. You don't have to do that. I do because I've always done it. So we can pick, as long as we pick the cards confidently, we can pick them any way that we want, as long as we stick with that way. So you might fan, you might wait for them to jump out. For me, I shuffle and split into two. So now I'm closing my eyes and seeing how I want to lay the cards out. And I'm seeing a capital letter Y. So I'm pulling two cards, and then we'll draw two cards down at the center. Actually, we're going to go three. Three down the center. We've got three Animal Kingdom. I think I've got a cat hair on my lips. 3 Animal Kingdom and 4 Speed of Light Oracle, and they're face down. So let's turn them over and we'll see. Oh yes, we've got a dragon to begin with. The air dragon's coming up first up again. So I think it came up the week before last as our first card. Okay, so we've got one featured card, which is the Shaman. And it has further instructions here which say to fan out the deck and choose another card. So I'm fanning out the deck, I'm not really thinking about it, and I'll grab the Fox, to go with the Shaman. So these are the last couple of cards. So these I'll talk about later, most likely when we get to the weekend. So let's see how this fits for you. We're starting the week with the dragon energy of the air dragon. So in this deck, which is the Animal Kingdom Oracle cards, there are 5 dragons, and I see the dragons as the most powerful cards in the deck. So and because we've combined here, we've got 5 dragons out of 110 cards. So we've got, this is the only dragon that's come up for the week here, unless we get a theme dragon, which we'll know later. This is the air dragon, and the air dragon is card number 27, and it says your mind is powerful. So this talks specifically about our mind and our mental faculties, our mental capabilities. And we're being encouraged to really think about, and there might be also great support at the beginning of this week to support our focus, our direction, and where we want to go, what we want to do, and backing that up mentally. Because if we are wanting to do something, or we're about to do something, whether we want to do it or not, and we're hesitating, and we're sort of holding back, waiting back, unsure, uncertain, very hesitant, then we're not probably going to find that it works as well as it could if we had our mind on board. So our mind can back up, it can support, it can motivate us to move in the direction that we're going. So maybe think about, at the beginning of this week, is your mind on board with what you're doing, or is your mind hesitant in what you're about to do, or what you feel you're ready for, or what you're being thrown in the deep end to do? Can you get your mind on board? Can you get your mind supporting you and backing you up to help motivate you and push you through this current phase, especially early in the week? So our mind is powerful, and we've been shown here that our mind can certainly work with us. Like I've said many times, our mind can be our best asset to support and encourage and motivate and push us. It can also be in many ways our biggest enemy, because it can seem to also work against us, or we work against it. So what is your current relationship with your mind? Are your thoughts supporting you? Are they working for you? Or are your thoughts keeping you small, keeping you low, keeping you held back? So what can you do to get back in charge of your thoughts early this week, especially Monday? There's great favourable energy for that. So working with the power of our mind to get things done. But especially we have just underneath the air dragon, we've got the shadow card again. And the shadow card came up a couple of weeks ago. It's card 36, and it says shape-shifting, hidden, release, and Raven. And this is coming in, I feel like, from Monday, so most likely later on Monday, overlapping into Tuesday. So mainly Tuesday, which is the 23rd of February. We have the Shadow card. Now, this can be a bit confronting. And, you know, this is something too that, you know, on a mental level, we might find that we need to confront those non-supportive thoughts. We need to confront our fear, confront our mental limitations, our mental insecurities, these mental parts of ourselves that are holding us back and keeping us trapped and keeping us limited. To confront these things and, you know, confront this energy, even with something like realizing that we've been living a lie, which is very ouchy, very confronting to realize. So that confronting energy is coming up in this card, and it's most likely connected with the mind. So, you okay? Yeah. And this also within this card too is about facing our fear and finding courage to face our fear, working with the power of our mind to face our fear, because our lower mind wants to keep us small. It wants to keep us scared and feeling like we're not capable, that we are limited, we are not qualified. Our lower mind wants to keep us there. It wants to keep us hesitant. Why? Because that's what keeps our lower mind alive and active. It wants us to be scared. So if we can bring forth the power of our mind to, in some ways, blast through that smallness that our lower mind wants to keep us in, then that will also help us transform that fear energy, which comes up in this is confronting energy, into love, into an opportunity. Can you turn the challenges that you're facing early this week into opportunities? Where is the opportunity within the challenge that you're facing? So a change of perspective may also be coming forth for early this week. So let's confront our shadows and let's transform them. Let's bring the light. Let's bring the hope. Let's bring the opportunity into those darker parts of ourselves and our life. So something is potentially shifting in a positive way on Tuesday, and that is definitely supported by our mental state, our perspective. So that's Monday and Tuesday. Let's go over onto Wednesday. We have interesting energy, which I'm going to combine these 2 days. We've got Wednesday and Thursdays. That's the 24th, 25th of February, and we've got these 2 cards. Now, this is a featured card, but it doesn't want us to pull another card. It wants us to meditate and really think about pondering a situation. So we'll talk about this card first. It's card 52. It's the koala, and it says ponder, slow, quiet, grandfather, and wait. So there is a slowing down feeling around Wednesday and Thursday that's coming through with the koala. Some of us may find we're in a situation that we've just got to wait. We might be waiting on news, waiting on information, waiting on something that's not really coming yet. So we might find that waiting energy around quite strongly for some of us over Wednesday and Thursday. There's also an energy with this that's reminding us to just ponder, to slow down. We might find that some of us may be really drawn to rest if we're able to rest, to recoup, to mend, to heal our body as well. It's interesting. I'll talk more about the Shaman shortly, but that card also talks about stepping back and moving into our healing sort of private space. So quiet. What do you need? And we'll know more when we get to Wednesday and Thursday. What sort of slow energy do you need to connect with on Wednesday and Thursday? This is also for Wednesday and Thursday, and it's card 55, called the Jellyfish. And it says vulnerable, flow, sensitive, and protection. So this is reminding us over Wednesday and Thursday to go with the flow. So to surrender our need to control and to move with the currents and the movements of our life. Are we pushing against the stream, against the natural current of our life, especially over Wednesday and Thursday? If you find yourself exhausted because you're just trying to push against everything, and things don't seem to be happening. You seem to be meeting obstacles or setbacks, and there just seems to be this uncomfortable feeling about you and your relationship with your life and its flow and its movement, then you might be encouraged to sort of surrender your need to control, surrender your need to hold on to things too, perhaps, and let yourself move with the current, move with the stream, move with that natural rhythm of your life. What are you trying to control? What are you trying to change? What are you trying to hold on to? These may be questions that come up, may be important questions to ask ourselves, especially Wednesday and Thursday. There is an element of protection too with this card. So if you're feeling a bit sensitive, which we may feel a bit sensitive and a bit restful Wednesday and Thursday. So if we feel a bit sensitive, let's remember to affirm our protection, that we and our loved ones are safe and protected while we step back and rest or heal or mend if needed, while we work out our flow, work out our rhythm. We could also say work out our balance, because our balance is always changing. We don't suddenly wake up, feel balanced and have it for the rest of our life. It is in flux always. So it's an ebb and a flow, it's a push and a pull, it's a yin-yang energy that I found if we can dance with it, then we work with that energy, we work with the flow, so we swim with the current. And it's an abundant flow when we're in that space. When we're trying to push against stream or swim against the current, when we're trying to force things to be a certain way that we want, but it goes against the natural rhythm, we probably find ourselves very much getting out of balance. So around the middle of the week, it feels like slow, pondering, quiet time, waiting, thinking about our flow. We may find that we're ultra sensitive, and that can be a really good thing because it also shows us where we're out of balance, where we're trying to control things, where we're trying to force or hold on to things. So try not to dismiss our sensitivity this week, especially midweek. Let's listen to our sensitivity and learn from it. What are we sensitive to, and why are we feeling so overly sensitive? What can we do about bringing more of a balance into our life, but especially a balance into our daily life? So that's around midweek. And then the energy shift. So we're looking at Friday. Friday here we have card 28, the orca whale. And it says living your purpose. So there is almost a feeling around Wednesday and Thursday like a pause button pressed. And we may feel a bit unmotivated. We may feel quite not very productive. There might be this feeling of this extra effort that it's taking to do things over Wednesday and Thursday. But then there's this feeling here that it potentially shifts on Friday, where we have the orca whales coming in and bringing a strong sense of connection with our purpose. So a lot of people, in fact, probably the biggest question that you get, not that I really do readings now, but even with drawings and things like this, the biggest question is, what is my purpose? It's the thing that most people are asking for. But what I've found is that to think of a purpose in the long term as a goal-orientated thing, unless you're working towards something, some type of training or whatever, and you're working towards some type of qualification, I find the general sense of purpose of I don't know if I'm expressing this clearly, but the long-term purpose of I want to be a healer, I want to be a teacher, or you're some type of, guru or something for the future. It just seems a bit too far off for me. I mean, it might sound a bit morbid, but we don't even know if we're going to live that long. So I found, to me, it's more valuable, and I've been living this way for a few years now, is to look for how I can find purpose every day. So I bring my big pie in the sky dream purpose. I've sort of reeled that in to look at where can I find purpose daily. Can I do something today that feels purposeful for me? For me, it might be a rest. It might be healing time. It might be just some me time today. And that might be my purpose for today. And that's okay. but I also find that it helps drive me by having daily purpose and daily sense of meaning in my life. Actually helps me feel motivated and strive to be the best person I can be today. And then tomorrow be the best person I can be tomorrow on that day. And hopefully continuing to improve myself. I want to make my days count. I don't want to have some 10-year goal, then get 10 years down the track and have a different feeling or not really be drawn to that anymore, and then feel that I've wasted 10 years of my life. I don't want to waste any time of my life, and certainly not years. So for me, I've got to break my decade, my years, down into days. So on Friday, perhaps give some thought to, if you're inspired to, or even on Monday, if you're listening to this Monday and you want to, what brings you purpose? And how can you find this purpose every day? Every day. Even just a little bit of purpose of something. Can you make amends? Can you fix something that you may be responsible for? Can you learn new skills? Can you help other people? What gives you and brings you purpose? What brings me purpose is going to be different to what brings you purpose. So it's a personal thing. So purpose feels important for Friday, and maybe something that we can kind of dive into, because I feel with this pause energy around midweek, there is this feeling of sort of pin dropping into the deep end of the pool on Friday, where we sort of dive in and drop into our a sense of purpose and meaning that we are, I don't know if looking for is quite the right way to express this, but something that we want, that we crave, that we desire. And maybe over Wednesday and Thursday with the quiet sort of energy, it might be good too to ponder our purpose. What brings us purpose? Where do we feel purpose? What do we love to do? What are our passions? I also ask myself, what am I curious about? Because I really trust my curiosities with my creating, with everything. And I do that on a daily basis. So, you know, what are you curious about? What would you love to explore? What are you thinking about lately? How can you learn about it? How can you take it to the next level? Are there conversations you could have to help you find a deeper sense of meaning and purpose for you personally? So pondering Wednesday and Thursday on this may be helpful. So living our purpose around Friday, that's Friday the 26th of February. And then we move into Saturday the 27th of February, and we've got the cheetah. And the cheetah says, the cheetah's card 4, and it says focus on your strengths. So are you seeing a bit of a theme here? So as we have quiet pondering time Wednesday, Thursday, Friday we're likely to feel driven to really start applying the purpose and the ideas that we have to create more purpose and meaning in our life. And as we move into Saturday, the cheetah's reminding us to focus on our strengths, the strengths that we can tune into to help create more purpose and more meaning for us personally. Now, I say focus on our strengths not to totally dismiss our weaknesses, because I feel that they offer a lot of insight and help us keep and maintain our balance. So if you're noticing things that are sort of the weaker areas of your life, the areas of your life that aren't working so much, then it might be a good time to look at those and do something about them. But if you're noticing the weaknesses or the smallness of yourself, your fear, your insecurities, and you're rolling around in those wallowing, then it might be good to refocus on the things that you're strong at, the things that you're good at, the things that make you who you are. And they might not even be things you particularly like, because sometimes we have qualities that we may not like, we may see as a curse, but actually these qualities make us who we are. It could be our loud booming voice, it could be the shape of our nose. I mean, these are all very superficial things, but you know, these things, these qualities, everything about us, the sound of our voice, makes us who we are. So can we learn to love and work with these unique qualities? Can we turn these unique things into strengths? Because these strengths will help us see where we can hone our energy as we focus on creating more purpose for ourselves in our life. on hopefully a daily basis. We're going to have off days. We're certainly going to have off days sometimes. We're not going to feel like we have much purpose today, and we can just basically ride the day out, focus again tomorrow. That happens sometimes. But if most of our days can be purpose-filled and we can focus on our strengths as we move into the weekend, then I feel that's going to be of great benefit for us. It feels strong. There's a strength that's coming from this switch as we move into Friday. And then Sunday, we have these two cards for Sunday. We've got this featured card, which I pulled an extra card with. So these two relate. They go together, hand in hand. So what I'm going to do is talk about them separately, and then we'll look at their relationship together. So it's card 17, the Shaman, and it says solitude, grounding, mending, privacy, and reassess. So on Sunday, we might hit a bit of a halt again. But this is for a different reason than when we stepped in Wednesday and Thursday to quiet waiting time. This is purposeful stepping back. This may be our time where we need to step back into our sort of cave, to step away from the hustle and bustle of things for a little bit, if we can, to reassess our life. So as our purpose is emerging later in the week, as we're focusing more on our strengths and the things that are working for us too later in the week, there is this feeling of stepping back, maybe with our journal, maybe just with our thoughts, or even in conversation with someone else, where we really think about assessing and reassessing our life. Where have we come? Where are we now? And where do we see ourselves going? What adjustments do we need to make so that this energy of forward momentum matches with the new sense of purpose we've just found? So we might need to step back to heal. We may also need to step back to mend, but especially to reassess our life. It's private time. So we might find quite drawn to being private. And then it comes with this card, the Fox, card 8. And the Fox says to find a way. So this is quite a motivating and focused card, and it's reminding us to find a way to carve out this new path for ourselves. So we've kind of, what I'm feeling here, we've probably established a bit of a revival or this sense of excitement, motivation about our purpose, focusing on our strengths, assessing our life, maybe writing down our ideas, what we want to do, how we can bring more purpose into our day, what's our schedule like, what can we fit in, that sort of thing. And then over Sunday, we've been encouraged, how can we bring that into form? How can we bring it into our life? How can we find a way to make this happen? So our private time on Sunday is likely too going to be about reflecting and assessing and contemplating how we can find a way. I would call that, what is my action plan? What is my action plan? So after deciding that I want to create more purpose and how that's going to look for me, and thinking about it over the weekend, especially Sunday, is about applying it. So what action steps, what's our action plan in bringing more purpose in? What I'd recommend is not waiting. A lot of people wait until the new year, wait until their birthday, wait until June, wait until the child is born. A lot of people wait. I've seen it a lot, and in many ways it's an excuse, because these people I've seen, and actually I've witnessed quite a few people 20 years on who are still saying the same thing. When that child is born, I'm going to quit smoking. When the new year comes around, I'm going to be this brand new fantastical person. And it might be 6 months away, so they cram in as many cigarettes or whatever as they've decided that they want to change. And then that time comes and they still can't get over it. 20 years later, it's still saying the same story. So that sort of story saying of when this happens, when that happens, I'm going to do it, they're excuses. And usually I can't think of any person that I know in my life who has said that and then actually applied it. So what I would recommend, that if this resonates with you, to start straight away. Start the next day. Start that day. Don't put it off. Start it as soon as you can. So they are the cards for this week. Very, very strong. So especially the beginning of the week strong, middle of the week a little quieter, but then there's this surging energy that's coming through from Friday through the weekend that feels very focused. So very exciting. I'm going to get ready to pull a theme card. So before I do, I want to thank you so much for joining me today. If you have enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up button. Please show us some love. Please comment or share if you're inspired to. And if you would love to connect more privately, please send us a message through our website. So this Thursday, the 25th of February, is Temple of Balance's 16th birthday. So if I had a baby, which I did, I had Temple of Balance baby 16 years ago, or when Temple of Balance started, it would be 16 now. So on Thursday is our 16th birthday. I'm working on some sound healing recordings that will be available and launched on Thursday. And I do intend to pop in with a video or two around Thursday, so maybe Wednesday, Thursday, Friday sometime, and I'm going to talk about Temple of Balance. So if you've got Temple of Balance questions, then please post them in the comments and I'll keep an eye out, and if I can answer them I will in a video. So if you would love to know about the journey, the highs and the lows, how it started, my plans for the future, whatever, please let me know in the comments. On Saturday, that's the 27th of February, I have my next online art class, and we're focusing on creating an artwork around stability. You don't have to have any art experience, so if you would love to create a piece of work, and it's usually quite a healing experience around stability and bringing more stability into your life, you might find it helpful. It's only available for Saturday because it's a personal thing. So those people who join in live on Zoom with me, and we talk about very personal things that are blocking us, that help us connect with stability, and it's so personal that it's not going to be available afterwards. So if you would like to connect, then please have a look on my website so you don't miss out. So that's this Saturday the 27th. If you can't join live, you can still register beforehand and I can send you the recording after if it doesn't match your time zone. And if you would love to learn more about me and the work I do at Temple of Balance, please visit templeofbalance.com.au. I have some pendants. I've got some new ceramics. My kiln is on now, so I have new ceramics pieces in about 1 week's time. So keep an eye out for that if you want to. So now for the most important card of the week. This is our theme card, and it's going to help tie this whole week together and help us see the bigger picture for this week ahead. So the best card for our theme for the majority of us, the 22nd to the 28th of February, is this here. It's so out of all the cards and all the places, this card came up at exactly the same time last week. So it's going to be interesting. It's a featured card. We're going to pull another card and we'll see what that is. It says, take the third card from the top. 1, 2, 3. And it's the Peacock. Okay, interesting. So those of you who followed last week, I'll just repeat myself a bit because this came up as our theme last week. It's Lizard, card 3, and it says optimism, appearances, delusion, and illusion. So this is about, remember I talked last week about things on the surface. So this card's very much about reminding us to drop underneath the surface things. So what that means is it could mean if we are signing a contract, let's look at the fine print. If we're looking at a vehicle, let's look under the bonnet. If we're being presented something, let's ask more questions so we get more information. This card is not saying don't proceed, although we might decide not to. It is saying to that we need more information so we can make a more informed decision whether we want to proceed or not. So let's drop below the surface. Let's ask the deeper questions. Let's ask ourselves the deeper questions, especially as we're looking at purpose and meaning, because that's deep stuff. It's not on the surface. It's not what we see. It's underneath all of that stuff. It's underneath in the realm of feeling. It's underneath in our realm of thought. So can you drop deeper this week? Can you take it further? Can you take it below the surface? And it connects with this card, which is card 15, the Peacock. And the Peacock says increasing self-confidence. So this is a strength, a confidence, a courage that's potentially coming up this week for us to tap into. And as we drop under the surface, so what we're seeing, what's playing out, the stuff that's playing out on the top of our life, on the surface of our life, if we can drop deeper into that, there is this feeling here that we can potentially tap into our confidence and our courage and allow that to continue to grow. So there is an emergence of power. This almost feels like the phoenix, and there's no phoenix in this deck. So this is probably the closest energy to the phoenix, the peacock. And it feels like the phoenix rising up out of the depths, rising up out of the inner waters, the ashes within us, and coming up to the surface. So bringing ourselves deeper, dropping ourselves deeper so we can bring that deep stuff out and bring that up to the surface is the feeling here for our theme. So don't be afraid to drop into how you feel. Don't be afraid to drop in and ask yourself the big questions around purpose. Yeah, what helps me feel a sense of purpose? What do I feel like I belong to? What are my good qualities? What are my strengths? But also ask yourself the opposite questions. What doesn't feel like purpose to me? What parts of my life are not working for me? What parts of myself do I see as my weaknesses or those small qualities? Because the only way to transform them is to ask the questions, drop deep into them, and then transform them and bring them to the surface as a strength. So can you turn your weaknesses into strengths? We probably can this week. Can you turn your feelings of lack of purpose, of lowness, of smallness, can you turn that into a sense of purpose, a motivation to keep going, to strive for something, to set yourself some goals that are doable? Yes, we probably can this week. So the key is dropping under the surface. So let's stop complaining about what's going on and start doing something about it. Let's start doing things about it. Put our money where our mouth is. Practice what we preach. Let's make it count by following through, finding a way. So there's a lot of motivation, especially later in this week. So let's roll with it as best as we can. And thank you so much for connecting with me today and hanging about. Please come back and connect with this recording throughout the week as you need to, just to get your bearings and to help things make more sense as you live through it, if that makes sense. So thank you for connecting. Have a fantastic week. Happy birthday, happy anniversary if you're celebrating, and I will be back next Monday for the weekly guidance. I will be around Thursday for some birthday videos about Temple of Balance, and the art class, of course, on Saturday. So I will see you soon. Take care of yourself, and sending you loads of love from my heart to yours. Thank you.